Hi, my name is Ann Carollo, and I am the owner of Gulf Coast Dance Center. And today I'm going to break down for you how to spot when doing turns in ballet. Today we're going to work on spotting. This is a simple concept, but actually quite difficult to master. Now, the way that I'm going to teach you today is the way that I teach my students in intro, and I continue to work and build upon it for multiple levels. But I also want to give credit to where this came from. So Finis Jhung, a master teacher up in New York, is where I learned it. I took a teacher course from him, and he taught this concept in a stationary standing position and only worked on the head and eyes, and I was literally blown away because I'd never been taught it this way. And it just seemed like such a great way to digest the material and work on one aspect of it instead of rotating and falling over and trying to keep your balance while also trying to learn how to spot. So spotting is the ability to see an object or a curtain or a post-it note or something and see it repetitively over and over again so you don't lose your balance or get dizzy while turning. What this looks like physically on the body, and I will show you, is we'll take chaînés, a very simple step for beginners that we work on, and I'm going to look at the camera and I'm going to find the camera every single time. So I move straight at you and I come around every time, clearly spotting the camera lens right now. Now, the reason why this is so important to work on is there are 3 segments that doing this particular exercise today is going to work on. So spotting needs the use of your neck muscles, so the strength and speed at which to turn the neck. That's one component of spotting. Second is the muscles that are behind the eyes. So how fast can you actually get your eyes where they need to go? So a lot of times people will spot their head quickly, but their eyes will be dragging behind. So you got to also build up that strength. It's crazy to think that we're building up muscles behind our eyes and muscles in our necks, but this is really important. The third and probably most complicated part is, especially for adults, is the brain to eye communication. So with learning how to do ballet as an adult, we actually have to break a habit that we were trained at a very young age, which is not to take in all the material. So the easiest way to explain this, I guess, is when we drive a car, in which we've started driving at age 15, 16, we are taught to be a defensive driver, taking in all the action that is happening around us. So we're using our peripheral, our brain is grabbing something over here. Is this car coming to a stop? Is the light changing? So there's a lot going on. So what happens a lot for adults is spotting is challenging because we are still trying to take in all the material that's around us and make sense of it. But when you actually are spotting, you're going to practice not taking in any of that extra information for your brain and seeing it clearly. It's all going to actually just be a full-on blur, and you're looking to find that one object crisply and clearly. And I keep referencing this is about the size that I think is really important. Again, if it starts getting too big and you're trying to take in too much detail, the brain and the eyes can't handle it at which the speed we're moving. Okay, so that's the how, the why, the what is going on. So let's get into how to practice this at home. First, you're going to set yourself up in a space that you can place something, I'd say at least 4 to 5 feet away from you maybe would be a nice distance. And you're going to find an object, again, about this size, or a post-it note, or a piece of sticker you'll see behind me is what we might use in a classroom to make it easy, is find 2 objects that are directly across from each other or place them there. And then you're going to set yourself up, not exactly in between, but I would say with the object ever so slightly, just barely, maybe in line with the front of your shoulders, okay? So now I'm going to teach you the exercise. So you'll find yourself standing in a very comfortable position. You can be in first position, working on your placement if you want. You can be just standing naturally so you don't hold tension. This can also be elevated. Say you get really, really good at it, is you can even practice this on releve while doing the spotting exercise, but that is definitely a few layers up. Okay. So what we do is we practice this in a slow, a medium, and a fast tempo, building up to the speed of spotting. you will look to the right is usually where we start. So we'll look over our shoulder at the object clearly and we'll see it. And then we're gonna turn our head and find the next object to our left, okay? So what I'm having you do is I need you to see the object and try to make sure you know exactly where it is, look and see the object. Then we're gonna count it out and we're gonna do 8 of those in a slow tempo. So I typically go 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll look right and left and right and left for 8 times. We'll move up a speed, I'll say faster, and we're gonna go to a medium tempo. We'll go right, left, right, left. Then we'll go even faster and we'll have right, left, fully at a closer to a spotting speed. Okay, so I'm gonna set myself up so you can see what's happening with my eyes and my body. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself set up for that. Okay, so now I'm set up so you can actually see what's happening with my eyes, but we can also do this together. I forgot to say one thing. Make sure whatever object you're looking at is about eye level. So if you can see now, I'm looking at eye level at the camera. So we're gonna start facing forward, and we are gonna take our heads to the right, and we're gonna look 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, faster, right, left, 5, 6, 7, faster, right, left, left. Okay, so the question is, are you dizzy? And if you are, let's do it again. Okay, I always find that if you're dizzy, a lot of times doing it the second time, when you actually are a little bit practiced, you'll become less dizzy. So let's try this again. So set yourself up nice and comfortable, don't hold any tension. And we have 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna look right, left, 5, 6, 7, faster, right, left, faster, right, left, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully this time you feel a little less dizzy, but the beautiful part is this is something you can practice at home, this is something you can practice before you take class, and then really think about that focus when you do your turn. I hope that by breaking down spotting, what is it look like, and how you can improve upon it, that this will help you on your journey in ballet class. I know that for most adults, the idea of turning is very exciting, but then when the time comes to actually rotate, it can actually also be very intimidating. So this has been my go-to. I promise it works. If you put in a little bit of extra effort and you practice at home, it will significantly improve your turns. Because again, just like training the muscles of our bodies, we need to train these muscles, the neck. So remember that, the neck, the eyes, and the brain to eye. It's super, super important. And I really hope that you get out of it what my students get out of it. With that said, if you really liked this, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any more of my content. And go ahead and keep up with the comments. I've received some really wonderful suggestions on videos that I've added to the list, so keep an eye out for that. And remember, trust the process and enjoy your journey.